Say Kal Halal Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai. I want to say double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, which rule well. I want to say peace and salutations to all the Akim out there preaching this word in truth and sincerity. I want to say shalom. Also shalom to the brothers at Jefferson City, great GMS Missouri, and also in GMS Arkansas also. This is a brand new channel. I'm Brother Shamak, and we're going to get right into it. Considering Muhammad Ali, there's news that he passed away and within this last 24 hours. So I want to kind of go into some scripture about that, and kind of also a little bit of my testimony. I grew up in the Caribbean, and when I was a young man, I had the privilege of dealing with Muhammad Ali. I actually spent a few days with him, and you know, in the early '80s. So I mean, that was very interesting. But you know, want to kind of get right into it. Some scriptures and some other things that, you know, a lot of people call Muhammad Ali the greatest of all time, and for us boxers and whatnot in America and all over the world, he's considered an icon. And we look up to a lot of these brothers and these athletes and whatnot, and you know, we give them top billing for their achievements and whatnot, especially Israelites, and you know, the best being the best athletes and role models. But kind of want to go into a little bit of an article based on Muhammad Ali and some of the people that he's been involved with during the 60s, the 70s, and some of his trainers. There was a man named Customato who was his trainer, who also worked with Muhammad Ali and was also Mike Tyson's trainer towards when he passed away in '85. But come to find out that there was some questionable history, you know, with Customato and his lifestyle choices. So I'm going to go to an article that I've pulled up. An article was by a man named Michael Woods. And I'm going to skim through the article. It says, you probably think you know there is all about the man. You probably think, Salakia, you probably think you know that all there is about a man formerly known as the baddest living being on the planet. And this really is about Mike Tyson, from a former TSS writer named Jonathan Rendell. And but they're talking about specifically Customato, some other people too. And anyway, they said Rendell got time with Teddy Atlas, Kevin Rooney, Don Majeski, Jose Torres, Steve Lott, and several figures who figured in Tyson's ascent and descent. The piece features some fierce back and forth trading between Atlas, Rooney, mainly, and some scandalous accusations contained that likely had Playboy's libel lawyer on alert. The two men who are hit with the boldest accusations, former trainer Customato and former manager Jimmy Jacobs, and they're long dead. It's strongly insinuated in the Randall piece that D'Amato and Jacobs were lovers and that both of them died from AIDS. Atlas tells Randall in the oral history format that forms the narrative spine of the article that he believes the circumstances of each man's death are fishy. The narrator Rendell also shares the rumor that D'Amato and Jacobs shared an apartment together before they found spouses. Who to say D'Amato died in 1985 and Jacobs in 1988? And so there's a rumor that says that these men died of AIDS because they were former lovers. And kind of want to go into scripture right into that. Obviously, in Leviticus chapter 20, verse 13. And it says, if a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. So the scripture, is right against all that, and it's really funny what you have to do to sacrifice your life, or to sacrifice to be able to gain fortune and fame in this wicked world, in a country we call Babylon, we know as the great whore. So, there's no telling what you have to do to be able to become famous, even if you have skill, even if you have, power and you're an athlete and people look up to you. To be able to make it to a step further, you have to, join on the left hand. You have to be able to, do what these elites say you need to do. And the truth is that Customato was known for having mob ties. This man, he was also known for not giving the mob what they needed and what they wanted, as far as throwing fights and as far as telling certain fighters to take dives in order for money, and so that was appreciated, and that was looked on as honest. But the truth is, there's a lot of proof that this man was living an unholy lifestyle, and whether he's an Edomite or whatnot, but he knew a lot about the boxing industry and the boxing world. So right there, he was off, and it was wicked. And so another thing with he worked. There's interviews on YouTube you can look up, but there's interviews where he worked closely with Muhammad Ali, and was showing Muhammad Ali, specifically when Ali was going to fight Frazier, and he was going to show how Frazier was going to come at him and whatnot, and Ali was giving the things he was going to do. So you can see this man clearly was a mentor, was able to share his wisdom, even at an old age, to what we call the greatest of all time, but these greats and legends. So later on in Customato's life, he ended up dealing with Mike Tyson. This was kind of his last chance, his last go round, where he would to create a champion. And we all know what kind of drama Mike Tyson got into. He started getting involved in Islam and these dumb idols, being an Israelite man. So also wanted to show how the boxing industry itself, is wicked and corrupt, is running rampant. How when you align yourself with these elites or these people that work, these puppets that offer you money and whatnot, the things that you are subject to and whatnot. So got a quick video want to show you about when Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson, and he kissed the man full length of the lips. And Mike Tyson's got a video too. Has got something too. I'm gonna show the camera something specifically. But when Mike Tyson, this is Jacobs, and this is the man to show you that Mike Tyson had specific influence, or this man Jim Jacobs had influence with Mike Tyson. Shows him here kissing Mike Tyson. Wait for this to load. I'll show this right here if you want to get a little closer. This is Mike Tyson, and this is the man Jim Jacobs. He's kissing him full length on the lips. Here's this man Jim Jacobs right here also, and he's supposed to be the alleged lover of Customato. This is Customato, picture of him right there, and he's with other boxers and whatnot. So they skyrocketed. But I got a quick video to show you of Buster Douglas whenever he beat Mike Tyson. What he did right into the ring. I'm gonna let you brothers check it out.
Has been reduced to being another heavyweight champion who got defeated.
See that? This man straight up went and kissed this man on the lips right after winning the title. Now, I don't know what part of boxing that is, but it seems like something's going on. I'm going to show it again.
Heavyweight champion who got defeated.
All right. So, showing you that this is run rampant. It's not just Mike Tyson. This is the influence that, what you call so-called alpha male, these Israelites and whatnot, what they get involved in, and how wicked the society is, how they take young men from the hood, ain't got nothing, under the curses, and they promise them, fortune and fame and success beyond their wildest dreams, and here they are, partaking in strange and perverse acts and whatnot. And you also had Muhammad Ali, born Cassius Clay, and got into the world of Islam, which is Ishmaelite religion. Okay, and he had no business in that, but at first, it seemed like he stood for a good thing for so-called black people. He didn't want to go to Vietnam, fight their America's war, and kill brown people, other brown people is what he called it. And so we realized how, well, at that time, Jake was looking at him like, hey, there you go. You fight for what you believe or whatnot. You dodged that draft, or and he spent some time in jail. He went to prison for what he believed. So whole America, you got a lot of people that hated him for that. You had a lot of people that idolized him for that. But what happened after he served his time and worked out a deal, got his license back and whatnot. He went back and lived out the rest of his boxing career. Had success for the most part, but ended up losing a few, because his best time he had winning that fight, was he was in his prime and whatnot. So they got another scripture too. It's Deuteronomy chapter 29 verse 18. It says, lest there should be among you man or woman or family or tribe whose heart turneth away this day from the Lord our power, to go and serve the gods of these nations, lest there should be among you a root that beareth gall and wormwood. So clearly the Most High, in the scriptures, is speaking that we'll have people who have Jakes. They're always looking for something. They're always looking for something that to take them to another level, something spiritual or whatnot. So again, I want to share that with you, brothers, and let you know that, listen, yeah, he might have fought, but a lot of these things are fake, and fights were set up. Greatest of all times, we don't know. We definitely know that he was influenced by other people and whatnot, other Edomites and people that have offered them fame and fortune and whatnot. So with that, I want to say shalom.